All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Football Focus Weekly. I'm the pet man, Matt Morrow, and tonight I might be doing this show by myself. And the main reason for that is because, our guys are coaches, and there's a lot of coaching stuff going on tonight for various teams associated with the show. So, you know, y'all might have me all to yourselves. And as I say that, I have someone joining. So I will not be by myself. Thank the Lord for that. But tonight's show is Union County and Iredell County county previews, and I'll have my rankings to go along with that. Also, it's scrimmage week, a very exciting time. Friday and Saturday, we're going to have a lot of area scrimmages. We'll talk about that, and we'll try to get the perspective of what coaches are looking for from the team, and you as fans watching this show. What are you looking for from your teams this weekend in the first scrimmage week that we have? This year we have two. Some years we only have one, but this year we have two, which is a really good thing, in my opinion. And then if we, have enough time, we'll do slime time at the end. But I want to make very clear: coaches have been asking, players have been asking. Next week is the big Charlotte preview show. It will start at 8 p.m. and it might go to 11. It is probably the longest show of the year and the most viewed show of the year. So tell your friends and your people that we will be doing our Charlotte show next week at 8 p.m., August 13th. Also, I failed to mention it's not on the graphic, but we're also going to talk about media days. We've had a number of media days, including our own today over at Harding University High School in Charlotte. So we'll talk about that and some impressions that we're seeing from the media days, so forth and so on from there. All right. I've got one guy here with me, and we might be doing this show alone. So I won't bring him on. And that is the Walkertown offense coordinator, Coach Ian Tatum.
What's going on, Pep? Doing all right?
Yes, sir. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. We started back teacher work days in Forsyth County, so this week's been insane and getting ready for these scrimmages. So good time to take a break and come on and talk ball with you.
Okay. A lot of long days.
Yeah.
How you guys looking?
Good, man. Just it's been wet, so real wet.
Yeah.
Wet practices this week, and trying to get ready for this pretty big scrimmage on Friday. So
okay, well, where are you guys going?
Yeah, so we're going to be at Mount Tabor. We're going to scrimmage Mount Airy, and then we have the last slot with Mount Tabor under the lights. So it'll be a good time.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good, man.
Yeah.
We got one comment so far. And that's our guy, Shaquan. So another week, another episode. Everybody smash the like button. All right. Thank you, Shaquan, because I never talk about this. But please feel free to like and subscribe on YouTube, or you can like it on Twitter and retweet it, or on Facebook, you can like it and share it. Whatever social media service that you use, feel free to like and share our content. That's what we love, man. Luke Zabo checking in. He says today's media day looked awesome. You always do so much for these young men. You are appreciated. Well, thank you, Luke. I appreciate that. Well, I appreciate all the teams that came out there today to Harding, and I'll get into that here in a couple minutes. Coach Trotter checking in. He says he's looking forward to this week. All right. Well, Coach Trotter, you're also going to be on the show tonight, Iredell County. So thank you for tuning in. And trust me, I didn't rank you last, like you probably asked me to.
He sent me a text, man. He said, "Hey, tell Pep rank us last."
It's an annual tradition, and I'm not listening. I learned my lesson last year or 2 years ago. I'm not listening anymore. Oh, I got someone else here. Okay, yeah. We might have a half decent show now. Because you guys are joining me. And I want to welcome on. He is the co-defensive coordinator at Independence High School. That is Adam Big Eye Shelby.
What's going on, Pat? What's going on, fellas?
Welcome to the show.
What up,
Good
what
to
up?
see you.
Good to see you guys, man. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, I saw Adam at the MEC Power 6 Media Day yesterday. Looking strong, looking confident. Patriots, I thought, represented well.
Yep, our guys did a good job of being able to answer all the questions that everybody had. We're happy. We had a couple guys that's kind of been here for a while in our program, 3-4 years in the program, and we just getting excited. Getting ready to get the season started, man.
All right, good deal, man. Good. Well, since we're talking about kind of two of these things, scrimmages and media days, let's start with scrimmages. So for you guys, what are you guys looking for out of your teams this week in your first scrimmages?
I guess for us, we're trying to solidify the depth chart, kind of figure out, who's going to be, going in, kind of week one, where they're at on the depth chart, first string, second string there, have you. To get guys reps, from there. That's definitely where you want to get, your backup guys a lot of reps. You kind of see what you got right in the back. So that's definitely one place you want to start. Because, scheme wise, everybody's going to be vanilla. Everybody's going to run what they've been running forever, and it's all the same stuff. So not really worried about, X's and O's. It's all about, your kids and seeing like, who can get out there and, get some quality reps.
All right, good stuff, Coach. Big Guy, what are you looking for from your defense specifically?
Oh yeah, pretty much the same thing what Coach Tatum said, man. Kind of solidify the depth chart. Kind of mix and match different groups, see who work with each other, and who don't. The biggest thing is, man, is just making sure we feel like we are the team that we say we're going to be, or the defense that we say we're going to be. It's your first opportunity this year outside of a 7-on-7 setting that you get to go against another school in a different color uniform. So you want to see if you still instilling. So you still want to make sure that everything you have instilled over the spring and the summer actually carries into this fall season the first time you see somebody. So, you look at to see guys you still have maybe questions about to see if they can do it. Making sure some guys who have stepped up that they can lead in a different environment, and then just being the new coordinator, making sure that the biggest thing, the coaches and players, we all on the same page in a different setting other than practice where it's controlled, but necessarily that we got to make sure we're good, make sure our communication is good, make sure can we handle sudden change, and make sure can we just adapt and be able to make any adjustments that we need to.
Very good, very good. Now, I got to ask you guys, this is a big thing from fans. They always talk about who won the scrimmage. Now, I have to ask both of y'all, do y'all care about winning the scrimmage?
I don't think people necessarily care about winning the scrimmage, but I think it's about setting a tone.
Okay.
In your scrimmages, because say for instance you have a good team like Walkertown, whoever they scrimmaging, they may look at them as a superior, and Walkertown may say, okay, just another day of work for us, but it's kind of like a measuring stick. So if you come out there and you BS it a little bit, they're gonna feel like, okay, Walkertown's kind of vulnerable. But if you come out there and show them like, okay, they are who they say they are, even if it's just starters for like 30 minutes or a couple of periods. Like, you want to do a good job of setting the tone, because this is the first time that somebody sees you this fall. You know what I'm saying? So obviously you got people watching. People may share the scrimmage, or you just never know who's there. And people want to say, man, like, I seen Walkertown suit up against whoever this week. Hey, man, they look legit. They look ready to go. Everybody's, you know what I'm saying? So it's more so like setting the tone, or just making sure you're answering certain questions that you may have about your team or your coaches, or just yourself in general. So that's why I think a lot of coaches think, make sure they want to set a good tone, put a good product out there at every time, and not necessarily say like scoreboard, win or lose, but I think that's what they kind of base it off of: physicality, energy, and effort.
Okay.
Yeah,
Coach
it's kind of the
Tatum,
same vein. Yeah, it's kind of the same vein of 7-on-7, but on a higher end. Like, you don't win 7-on-7s, right? But did you compete? Did you get better? Did you, show up like Big I was saying? Like I said, we play Mount Airy, right, and Mount Tabor. So, like, not duck and smoke at all. We coming out there have to actually show up. So, it's not, it's not trying to prove anybody or anything like that, but you got to at least show up and play. I mean, you got to at least show a good product, like he was saying. So, if you don't, there's a lot of questions, but at the end of the day, figure out who's going to be playing on Friday night and figure out your depth. And then until you get to have fun, man. It's the first time actually getting to hit somebody that doesn't look like you, since last year. And that's a big deal. So.
Absolutely, man. All right, good stuff. You guys watching tonight? I didn't put a scrimmage list together because there's some scrimmages that are changing now because of all the rain we've had. So if you guys are going to a scrimmage on Friday or Saturday, post it in the comments and I'll put it up on the screen so everybody will know where they can go on Friday and Saturday. Friday, I will tell you guys that Shaquan is going to go to Grimsley and Mooresville. I'm up at Mooresville. I think that's at 6:00 Friday evening. I'm planning on going to Mount Pleasant. There's a 14 thing over there with Mount Pleasant, Cox Mill, Hopewell, and Davie County. A lot of people wanted me to come to Cleveland County, but I live in Salisbury. That's too far for me. It's too far for a scrimmage. I'll put it that way. Saturday, I got a note that the Stanley County Jamboree is moved to Saturday. I think it's starting at 11 a.m. Saturday morning, so I might go over there. Saturday evening, I'm going to go down to Bessemer City for the Gaston County Jamboree sponsored by the FCA. Shaquan on Saturday is going to Huff. They've got a 6-team jamboree up there. I believe it's Westshot, Sun Valley, Huff, Palisades, and who's the other two in that? Big R, are y'all in that one? Or is that somebody else?
We didn't get invited to that, man.
Okay. I'll leave that alone. But there's 2 other teams there at Huff on Saturday evening, and Shaquan will be there as well. So we've got you covered from a scrimmage and jamboree standpoint. Thank you, Coach Trotters. This is Pine Lake Prep, Bonnie Cone Covenant Day, Saturday. I assume that's Saturday morning, 9:30 to 11:30 at Covenant Day. Covenant Day is in Matthews, I believe, right? I think that's where that is. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Karen Milk, yes. Next week, Indy will be hosting their jamboree. Well, I guess 4-team. Do you call that a jamboree? I don't know.
Yeah, it's jamboree.
It's 4 teams. Okay. It is you guys, Weddington, Sun Valley, and who's the other one?
RGK.
Okay. And Shaquan will be at that one too, Big Eye, so you can get some more good pictures. Let's see here. All right. I think that covers scrimmages. Let's go on and talk about media days. So first of all, Coach Tatum, how did you guys media day go, man? What was your thoughts?
Yeah, it was really good. The mid-state 3A, 4A, 5A up here in forgotten part of the state. It's not as big, but it is what it is. We decided, hey, a lot of our guys don't get a lot of coverage because we're smaller schools, and that's just the nature of the beast. So let's give our guys some screen time. So decided to have all of our schools. It was hosted at Walkertown. We kind of put it together. Invited all the schools. It was us, Carver, Moorhead, McMichael, Reedsville, and Rockingham County, and Bartlett Yancey. So kind of Forsyth County, Rockingham County, Caswell County all got together at the school and had a really good deal. We each school got 15 minutes to kind of talk with local media. Each coach brought 4 kids. We fed them lunch. One of our coaches caters, so we paid him through a sponsor and had all types of food for the kids and had a great time. Had pictures done for them. I had another guy that hosts a local radio show that did personalized interviews for them. So really good time, and kind of wanted to see how our guys would kind of react with a camera in their face because they talk to their friends all the time through a camera, but when they don't know the person that's asking the questions, you can usually get some good content. So really good stuff, man. Then we're gonna have a competitive conference, and definitely learned a lot about the schools and other kids that were coming that are coming to the conference. So I think it's a big deal. I know y'all in Charlotte have been doing it for a while. And I hit up Kenneth and was like, hey, what's the model? I'd love to do it for our guys. And he was gracious to help me out with that. So I always love the media days in college. That's how I know that football's back. So just want to bring it to the high school level, to our level, and kind of showcase our kids.
Man, that's awesome, man. Now I gotta say this, y'all ain't forgotten up there now.
Well, what I say is, like, I understand, like, the higher the classification, the more eyes, the more popularity. I understand that. So we got to create it ourselves, right? It's 3A, 4A, 5A, so we got to kind of do for ourselves, which I understand. But, I say forgotten, we're not. But especially with Reedsville in the conference, everybody knows them. So
where can we see some content from that?
Yeah, so it's on ROCO Radio, ROCO Radio, right here in Rockham County.
Okay.
Shout out my guy Joe Dexter. He came through and had his whole setup in there in the auditorium and recorded the whole thing for us. Each school has their interviews on there.
Okay, so is it on their Facebook page?
Yeah, their Facebook. Yeah, ROCO Radio.
Okay. Yeah, I just found it. Okay. So I'll try to put a link to that if you guys want to check it out. I'm scrolling on the page now. I see
he chopped it up each school, so there should be 7 of them, and then he did the whole thing, a whole 2-hour bit. So
awesome. Man, he's got a lot of stuff on here. Was it back in July? Oh, August 1st. Okay, I got it.
August,
that's what it comes. Okay. Oh, okay, August 1st. Okay, awesome. So yeah, I'll put a link to that in our comments, and you guys can check that out. Yeah, it looks good. It's like good quality. It's good stuff, man. All right, Adam. Overall, what do you guys think about your media day that you just had yesterday?
I think it was good, man. I think it's good to see all the coaches under one roof. It's funny, you always hear about how many like the quality and caliber of schools that's in the conference, and you finally get to see it under one roof, like just a little glimpse. You get to see the coaching, you get to see the kids, you get to see the different personalities. And I think it's great, man. I think it's the hardest conference in the state. I think everybody knows that every week is pretty much a playoff atmosphere type game. It has playoff implications on it. I think it's great that you have these guys all in one conference, because pretty much the top, outside of Huff, pretty much the top public schools in Charlotte over the last few years have pretty much is going to come out of this conference. And yeah, man, I think it was great. I think I was happy to see some of these guys that you've been hearing about, been covering over the years. Pep, you get to see them in person. You get to see like just new coaches in different roles. So like me, like inspiring head coach like myself, you get to see how coaches conduct themselves, how they answer the questions, how they just go about the process, so you get to see all the small things that a lot of these coaches have to offer. But yeah, I think it was a great experience overall. We had a lot of media there, a lot of coverage. Yeah, I think it was good from top to bottom.
Yeah, I thought it was good. And it's always good for me not only to see the coaches and the players, but to see the other media guys. And the good thing is in Charlotte, we've kind of been around for a while now, so everybody kind of knows everybody and respects everybody, and it's a good relationship. We don't have a lot of issues or people stepping on toes or anything like that. So I thought it was conducted well. Mike Patello.
Shout out to Mike. Voice of the Patriots.
Yeah, he does a great job. I thought he should have been the new Hornets PA announcer, but I ain't gonna go there.
That'd have been great. And I also think it's good that you hear a lot of chatter in the areas about these schools can't get along with these schools, this and that, and you get everybody under one roof. Like, not a lot of people watching. You see, like, people can still conduct themselves. Obviously, what happens on the field happens on the field, but you see coaches, players still can conduct themselves. And like me, I'm a huge advocate for trying to provide like assistance opportunities to be a part of certain things. I think it's a lot of coordinators that's kind of next up when it comes to head coaching jobs in the conference or just throughout Charlotte. So I'm always advocating for like something that to get assistance out there more. Because I think for me, you always hear about coaches just talking to coaches that's been through different interviews or different interview process. They always ask about experience. And I think, well, I mean, how can a guy get experience with interviewing if you never interview him? So I think that we can find multiple ways to, I love the media days with the head coaches, but but also just try to. I wish it's something that you can just add for exposure for not every coach, but maybe coordinators or just any aspiring head coach that the head coach may see fit on staff that he trusts to get in front of a camera or different things like that. So
yeah, and go ahead, Coach. I'm sorry.
No, what I'll say is this: one of my buddies just was listed on 35 on the 35 on the 35 in South Carolina. Carlo Jimenez, shout out to him at Somerville High School, and I retweeted it, and I was like, "Take notes, North Carolina." Like, they highlight coaches under 35 that are doing great things. We don't have that. Like, we don't have any way of showing recognition. Like, I know Joe Bryant and them did coordinators or assistants kind of next up deal, last year. But outside of that, I mean, there is nothing. But I 100% agree.
Yeah, and that was through the state association, right, down there. Yeah, because they had like a conference or something like that, and I thought that was
it's like a whole like a workshop for the assistant coaches, and it's almost like another clinic type of a deal. But a lot goes into it. You have to be nominated. You have to like send a whole like essay. I'm pretty sure, and like they choose through them. So it's not just, hey, he's I know him, so I picked him. It's a process to go through it. So I think it's pretty big honor. I know Texas has been doing it for a long time. I know the big AFCA has always done it. Yeah, just kind of playing off that model.
Yeah, that's a cool deal, man. I'd love to see. Go ahead, Adam. I'm sorry.
I always talk to you about, even with like the Queen City Bowl, man. It's like, I think that a lot of times with the head coaches, like, they have so much on their plate throughout the season. There's a lot of strenuous things that you need to go on and do throughout the season. And it's kind of like, man, I done coach for 10 to 16 weeks. Like, dang, I got to coach another game. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, if we do a better job of just highlighting our coordinators or just young up-and-coming assistants, like, those type of atmospheres can be like, hey, well, okay, these head coaches have been getting the spotlight for months, and I think a great thing about a head coach is always the staff that supports him and has his back through any and everything. So I'm always looking up to him like, hey, well, let's think about this guy as maybe coaching, because I think head coaches do it out of respect, but I also think that if they had another week off to kind of relax, I think they'll take that week off and relax.
Well, I understand what you're saying, and I think there can be a way, to honor assistant coaches. Something that we used to do on this show years ago was highlight up and coming assistant coaches, and ironically, DJ was one of those guys, and we did an interview, and we said in the interview, I think you're ready to be a head coach, and lo and behold, next year he became head coach and taking off from there.
So you saying you played a part in that, huh?
That's not what I'm saying.
No, I understand what you're saying for sure.
But there are different things that we could do, from a CFI perspective. Queen City Senior Bowl, that's separate. Even though people think it's mine, it's not mine. But there are things, we can look at doing, for sure. Let's see. Chris Hawk is asking where he can see the Independence Conference Media Day at. You can go to my YouTube. I've got all the teams from that media day up. And you can just click that and check that out, Hawk. Karen Melk's also saying that she was impressed by the Independence kids and the coach, and also by Captain Munderland. I thought he came off very articulate. I was impressed with him as well. In general, I was impressed with everybody. I thought the coaches panel was excellent. I did ask, a kind of tough question, but those guys, Tinsley and Griner, specifically, I thought, and Hales as well, answered that question. It was kind of talking about how CMS can keep coaches, because those guys have been there a long time, and they had some great responses to that. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, you just go on videos under the CFR under my channel, and you'll see all those interviews up there. You'll also see the Southwestern Conference Media Day team breakdown. Shaquan went over there and asked those guys some good questions and recorded all those teams. So those are also on the YouTube channel. And I watched the Southwestern Conference videos, and the first thing that standing out was Palisades, and and Channel 3 picked this up too. And you guys probably seen it by now, but they feel disrespected. They still feel like no one in the city is giving them their just due. And you guys that follow me knows that Coach Simmons will definitely advocate for his team and his guys. And this case was no different. So it's always interesting to see, like you said, Coach Tatum, when people get a platform, players and coaches, and they say what's on their mind. And it's always kind of good to get that perspective because, you can kind of feel the pulse of what a team's kind of, going through and what their motivation is going into the season.
Well, I loved the panel in true Kenneth form. Just was like, well, I love my team. That was great.
Yeah, that was a response. I believe Nate Wimberly, Channel 3, asked the coaches who you think is going to win the conference, which I thought that was interesting.
Well, they're going to somebody else, I guess.
But yeah. So you guys can check all that stuff out as well on my YouTube channel under videos. All that stuff is there, and I've kind of done a couple of summaries on Prep Reds on North Carolina. If you guys want to check those out, and feel free to subscribe, man. We do a lot of work over there. Talk about a lot of kids, and it's good content. It's real substantive, not just talk about one team, kind of what Karen Belk's talking about. And she was saying that the media day summary from a publication only talked about one school. But I will tell you, Karen, give them time. Now, the one thing I'll say is for these media days, there's a ton of content that comes out of these things. Like, you get so much stuff because you have teams up there for like you said, Coach Tatum. The Southwestern Media Day was basically like 15 minutes per team, and the MAC Power 6 yesterday was kind of the same format. And then you try to take all that, and either you got two things: you can try to cut it up and put it out there in bits, or you can just give them the whole thing. And my thing, I give you the whole thing. I don't want you to miss out on anything, and it's just easier to put it out there and let you watch it. So give them time. The Observer likes to cut things up and then put it out there in their publishing method. So you give them time. I'm sure they're going to have something for every team, because I know I saw them recording separate from the media day. I did see them recording other interviews and stuff with coaches and players. So give them some time. I'll finish up the media days kind of talking about, and I'll go solo on this. I'll talk about our 704 media day that we had today over at Harding University High School in Charlotte. And then of course, when I go solo, my camera wants to act up. So I'm going to switch cameras here and see if we can clear that up here. Y'all give me 1 second. Sometimes it'll clear up on its own, but
too much high quality technology, man.
It's something. I don't think my camera likes when I go solo. I don't know why. All right, y'all bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves for a second.
I guess we pioneer the ship now, Coach.
On the ship, man.
Yeah. And so who y'all got? Y'all got Weddington second one. Who you got the first one? Scrimmage was.
Oh, I believe we're planning to go to Providence in the morning. Just waiting to hear about the weather. We got hit pretty bad with rain on our side of Charlotte, and nobody's really wanting to. We got the grass field, so nobody really want to tear up the field before scrimmage, before a week or so before the first game. So we still with it, but that's the plan, to go over to Providence in the morning.
I got you. Yeah. Kind of just, we knew we're going to see Mount Airy probably later in the playoffs. We want to get a good playoff type matchup and scrimmage wise, so pick them up. But here's what it is. Then we play 2 local teams. We play RJ Reynolds and play Glenn second week. So just trying to play people bigger than us.
Yep. I mean, that's pretty much what we're doing. I mean, opening up with Gaffney Then playing Huff, 8A Huff. Then we have, I believe, Christian, Lake Norman, and Palace Day. So we pretty much open up with 5 pretty much proven teams. Gaffney's arguably the best in the state in South Carolina. Huff is one of the favorites to win 8A. We have Charlotte Christian, who's always been a traditional private school powerhouse.
Yeah.
You got Lake Norman, one of the best teams in their area, and you have Palisade, who's been on the run the last couple of years, who, like Pep said, is wanting for respect. So those 5 weeks are gonna be a very challenging 5 weeks for us. So just prepping us ready for this SEC-like conference that we have.
No doubt.
Thank you, guys. I don't know what happened. Well, we're gonna try this again. All right. 704 Media Day. It was good. Actually, I think it was great. We had 18 schools. And then the cool thing was just seeing all the coaches and the players in one spot. And the whole purpose of it was to kind of give the media day experience to schools who were in a conference who didn't have a media day. So I would try to list all 18 schools, but I know I'd miss somebody. But there were some really cool stories that came out of the media day from some of the kids. I'll highlight one real quick. Quentin McRae is a linebacker at Providence Day, and he has an incredible story where he came back from a major injury on 2 occasions, and now he's committed to play college football at Richmond. When we post his interview, I want to make sure you guys check it out. And I may even play it on the show once we get it posted for social media, because it was incredible. It was incredible. And it just kind of reinforces the fact that, high school football, it can do so much for not only young men, but coaches, and even fans and people like us, man. Because when you hear a story like that, it just gives you hope for not only people who play the game, but overcoming things in life. And God knows, in 2025, we need all the hope we can get out here, because it's a wild time. It's a wild time for sure, man. But it was really good. It was really good. We got a lot of content. I posted pictures from the media day out on our social platforms. If you want to check those out, feel free to do so. And then we'll have interviews probably starting tomorrow. It was a great partnership. I worked with Justin Adams, who runs Impact Speed Training in Charlotte. And we kind of tag teamed it, and really put together a good media day. And I appreciate Harding University High School for hosting it. And I think it went well enough that we might try to do it again next year. So might be some things we change up. We didn't have catering. We didn't have some chips and water though. We did have that. So we had something, but it's something to look at doing every year, and hopefully giving more schools a chance to have a media day experience. So it was a good deal. All right. Well, let's jump into what we're here for and what most people are coming on for now, and that is independent. What am I talking about? Iredell and Union County rankings. So it's been a long day. Bear with me. We're gonna jump right into who is first? I think Union County's first. So we're gonna jump into that and run through the Union County preseason rankings. So Union County football, man. First of all, it is some of the best football in the state. I think these teams are very well coached. Every year, they play competitive football. A lot of their teams make the playoffs consistently, year in and year out. And, we talk about media days. These guys don't talk a lot. They just play football down there. And, there's something to be said for that. I think in some ways, they don't get the credit that they should, but they play really tough physical football. And I've covered a couple of games down there last year. There was one between Marvin Ridge and Sun Valley that was just really physical. It was really physical, tough football. I'm trying to think of who else I saw. I think I saw Porter Ridge last year. And they always, execute at a high level. You're going to have to beat them. If you play them, they're not going to make a lot of mistakes. I saw Forest Hills, and it was kind of the same deal. Cuthbertson is extremely physical, but breaking down the rankings here, I still got Weddington as the number one team. Just the incredible defensive talent they have. They're going to break in a new quarterback again this year, but they've got some nice skill talent, including Kelson Tate, who you see in the picture right there. They also have another receiver you're going to see here in another slide here shortly. And they got a big offensive lineman as well. So they've got talent on both sides of the ball. And, of course, Coach Andy Capone, one of the best coaches in the state. They're well coached. They're not going to beat themselves. That's why they're number one here. I see a surprise face in the reactions, and that's probably because I've got Sun Valley at 2, but Sun Valley brings back a lot of talent. They've got their conference offensive player of the year, which a lot of people don't know. Noah Lineberry, their quarterback, I think he's extremely underrated. He's very accurate. He has a strong arm. And I watched him against Marvin Ridge last year, and that ball comes out fast, accurate, and on time consistently. And he can throw it to all areas of the field, man. He's a heck of a player. And, his I believe one of his top receivers is back in Andrew Duty. I really like him. He's a 6'3" kid on the outside. But we'll get more into players here in a second. Monroe at number 3, coming off a state championship. They lost a good bit, but they still got some guys coming back we'll talk about here in a second. But Johnny Soul as the head coach, you can never count him out. I think Monroe will always be top 3 in this county, no matter what. They always manage to reload with talent. Dana Bullock is telling us one right here. Jameer Jackson from Monroe, which is a name I haven't heard, so I'll put him on my watch list. Thank you, Dana. But they're always find a way to be in the mix. No matter what they start out with, they're always in the mix. They're in the playoffs. They're deep into the playoffs, if not competing for a state championship. And that's kind of the standard that they've established. Porter Ridge at 4. They've got a returning quarterback. They've got a dynamic receiver on the outside. They always have some big linemen. This year they've got big linemen on both sides of the ball. They've got a returning linebacker who's a tackling machine. And then they're going to find a way to be physical and well coached at all times. And that's why the 4 through 7, those guys, man, it is so tough to rank 4 through 7 in this county because they're all well coached. They all have talent. They're all physical. And it comes down to the minute details. You start looking at those games between 4 through 7 in the county last year, you don't see a lot of one-score games, 3-point games. I think Cuthbertson was in a couple 1-point games with both of those teams, Porter Ridge and Marvin Ridge. It is some tough, close football. And to try to separate those guys, it was hard. Started looking at returning players. That was the biggest thing. And Porter Ridge and Marvin Ridge returned a lot of players. Forest Hills returned a good bit of players. And then Cuthbertson lost a little bit more from the key player perspective. That's why in preseason I had them at 7. But I'm going to tell you something. Those guys are tough. Defensively, they are extremely well coached. Offensively, they're going to pound you. They got a really good running back to control the clock, and they play a style that is hard to deal with. It is hard to deal with. Those top 7, I think, are in the playoffs for sure. Parkwood at 8. Coach Mobley, they are improving rapidly. They've got some good young talent on that team that's going to be a year older. And you know, I think they're gonna push some people this year. Metrolina Christian at 9. You know, they're gonna be well coached with Coach Langley. You know, for them, it's always about numbers. Do they have enough numbers to compete with some of the top teams in the NCISSA? You know, for 4 quarters. Piedmont at 10. We kind of alluded to them last week, and Coach Dillard, you know, shouted us out for that little tidbit we mentioned last week. But they're in an extremely tough league. But they're getting better. They're getting better. You start looking at film, and you know, some of those 49-point losses they had 2 years ago are starting to decrease to maybe, you know, 28 points. And you know, it takes time. It takes time to build something, consistency, yeah, and working and getting, you know, some key talent in the right places. And I think that's starting to happen for Piedmont. So they start with some good momentum in the non-conference. You know, you never know what could happen once you get into conference play. And then Union Academy at 11. Union Academy's had some coaching changes. I know they've lost a couple kids, so I think it might be a bit of a rebuilding situation for Union Academy. So what do you guys think about this? I think it's a great county for football once again.
Yeah, I think they're very underrated. I want to say if it wasn't last year or year before last, right, Pat, didn't they have like 4 or 5, maybe 6 teams start like 4-0, 5-0?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that I think this county is kind of balanced with talent. It was one of those weird things where literally everybody's kind of placed in a different division. It was different classifications, so you don't really get like a lot of matchups. But I think respectfully in everybody's respected classification, they are pretty much teams that can win. They can win a lot of games regular season all the time. They're always very well coached. Always very disciplined football teams. Like you got Monroe, who won the state championship last year in their classification. You have Weddington. Obviously, Weddington is always at the top. You got the Sun Valley team, who's been close to beating Weddington at times throughout the last couple of years. So you got a lot of teams like Porter Ridge, like Marvin Ridge, getting, you know, everybody's getting better and better. Forest Hills and Monroe is always a big matchup. Cumberland looks very good. I've seen Cumberland this summer this summer over at Rocky River. They're going to be a very talented team with the guys that I've seen just from an offensive perspective. You know, you got Parkwood, Metrolina, Piedmont, Union Academy. Obviously, guys going to end up falling where they fall just based off of it's kind of being top heavy, but you know, everyone's pretty much tough or always a tough out in their respective classifications.
Yeah, Pep, I like what you said. Like, you know, the bottom half of the conference, you know, whether it be Coach Mobley, you know, he was the youngest head coach in the state, you know, at one point. And so, and then, you know, like they're talking about Piedmont, stuff like that. Like the testament of a team that's like maybe at the bottom of ranking. Are you getting better, or are you just down there, right? And like you said, they're getting better. You know, numbers are improving, stuff like that. So, you know, like you said, there's state champions in this county. There's teams that will probably win a state championship in this county. So, yeah, like you said, very underrated, but and it's kind of just sitting out there outside of Charlotte. You know, not many people go that way. Definitely, if you're around, go check out Union County football. We played Forest Hills last year. Great matchup. You know, coach does a great job down there. So, yeah, definitely a good county.
All right, good stuff. In the comments, we only got a couple about Union County. Like I said, they don't talk much down there, which kind of makes this.
Probably why they're so good.
That might be the case. Dana Bullock says, great ranking list. Well, I never see that. Thank you, Dana. Appreciate that. Travis Rogers, our mountain man, he says, crazy that Monroe's got so big. I watched him play Swain in 1A 10 years ago. Yeah. It's definitely not small little Monroe anymore. Yeah, you drive down through there, man, and get stuck in traffic. It's definitely not the same. So, all right. So let's highlight a few players here. So Union County defense. Picture to the right is Monroe defensive lineman Caneas Rushing, who's picked up a couple of Division I offers. Monroe always seems to have that next guy, And this looks like he's going to be the next guy. This guy showed out at the showcase, man. CFI, Carolina's Maker Showcase, I should say. 6'3", 245 pounds, I believe, and quick as anything, physical. You see his length. You look at those arms right there. Yeah, he's legit, man. So he'll be one of the next ones up. But as it stands, of course, you got the twins down at Weddington playing all over the defense, along with Thomas Davis Jr. Brandon Creech is a really physical inside linebacker for Sun Valley. Jeremiah Lindsay at Monroe is a tackling machine. He'll play a key role for them this year. Kai Finazzi from Forest Hill is a 6'3", 280-pound defensive lineman. Coach Tatum, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, he's load. Trust me.
Yeah.
He was part of the game plan for sure.
Manny Lewis has several D1 offers at Marvin Ridge. He's a he can play inside at D tackle, but he can play some end as well, kind of in a run stopping, kind of power, rush kind of guy. Dawson James is a big defensive tackle, 6'3", close to 300 pounds for Porter Ridge. Rylan Russ is 6'4" edge guy who can also move inside as well. Blake Hopkins, who also came to the CFI Carolina's Mega Showcase for Parkwood, one of those young guys who's developing and helping that program get better. William Taylor from Porter Ridge had over 100 tackles last year from kind of a linebacker / safety kind of role for those guys. Evan Colacerto and Sam Savonovic for Marvin Ridge. Those guys are returning starters defensively. Colacerto at linebacker and I hope I'm saying this right. Savonovic as a defensive back who's got great size and range, kind of as a safety for those guys. So a lot of good talent at Union County on the defensive side of the ball. Like I said last week, if there's somebody who is not on the list, of course, we don't have room to put everybody, who's deserving. Shoot me a message, let me know, and we make sure we'll get them some love either on here or on Prep Reds on North Carolina. Offense side. Oh, go ahead, Adam. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you got offense. I was about to say a couple. I was like, I forgot you do an offense defense.
You good, man? Is your guy on here?
One of the ones I was gonna mention, yeah.
Okay.
I got a couple guys that are coach 7-on-7. I was gonna make sure I give them a shout out.
Go ahead.
Whenever you get done, finish your list. I'm still getting the list. I'm getting the list.
All right. Well, I talked about Noah Lineberry already at Sun Valley. He was a returning offensive conference player of the year at the quarterback spot. We talked about Kelson Tate. He was featured on the ranking slide. And then pairing with him, Jonathan Manley. I believe they're both going to Delaware State. They committed to play college football there. Congratulations to those guys. Bryce Johnson is a big offensive lineman for Weddington, one of the best ones in the state. Zach Cullen from Sun Valley. You'll see him play running back, but you'll also see him playing some linebacker. He's looked very good over the summer. I've seen him at different camps and such. Talked about Andrew Duty. He's a 6'3" receiver for Sun Valley. Really good from a hand standpoint. He catches everything that's thrown to him. Jason Shepard from Monroe, he'll be the new quarterback. He came in from Martin County. He's a very talented young man. I expect him to go into that offense seamlessly for those guys. Bryson Simpkins is an athlete. He can play some receiver. You can also see him play some defense as well. He's another athletic kid who can do some good things in space. Kylan Polk from Forest Hills, extremely fast, game-breaking player. He was going to come to the showcase in May, but he was in the track championships, I believe, and couldn't make it. That kid is lightning in a bottle, and that's going to be a name you hear a lot this season for them. Their quarterback, Josiah Oxendine, it looks like he's going to be the starter down there. I know they've got another guy, Noah Furr, who's also very talented. I believe Oxendine is the senior, and I think that's, well, we don't know because we don't get reports, but I think Oxendine will be the starter for those guys. Alex Voss committed to Boston College, a 6'4" receiver who is extremely physical and can high point the ball on the outside, and who's a heck of a blocker as well in the running game. for Marvin Ridge. Ryshawn Elmore, explosive X-type receiver on the outside. He is a really dynamic player. Preston Broadway, one of the best linemen in the private school ranks for Metro Atlanta Christian. I believe he committed to East Carolina. You don't see that a lot, from schools, the size of Metro Atlanta Christian. So that tells you about his talent right there. Keenan Sullivan, picture to the right, really good fundamental quarterback, very accurate with the football. Porter Ridge likes to mix in those triple option elements. He can run that stuff as well and do a good job. Mason Iovino is the big horse for Cuthbertson. They run the football and run the football and run the football, get first downs, and keep possession, keeps their defense fresh. Their defense is very strong, and a big reason for that is they're always fresh because they win time of possession a lot. And Mason's a big reason for that. Nymere Kendall will be a dynamic offensive playmaker for Monroe, even more so this season. He was a big part of their state championship run last year. And then Micah Davis is a dynamic receiver for Parkwood. And they've got a couple other guys down there for Coach Mobley as well. Big Eye, who do you want to add on?
It's two guys that play for Parkwood that play with us, 707. I was hoping Coach Sam, my guy, texted me back. I forgot their name. I ain't seen the guys in so long. But
Okay.
but you highlighted my boy Sam from Marvin Ridge. Sam's a very good safety, nickel type guy. Probably could play a little linebacker as well. Obviously at Marvin too. You highlighted Alex Voss. Got another guy, my guy Michael Rodriguez, man, an up and coming corner.
Okay.
Out there at Marvin Ridge, man. Then at Cuthbertson, you have Mason Inman, a very strong hands, slot catching receiver, man. Mason can run any route, very underrated. He has offers from Concord University right now, and I believe Hampden Sydney.
Okay.
Also, Eric Henriquez, Makai's brother.
Okay.
He plays at linebacker, kind of nickel at Porter Ridge too. And obviously at Weatherton, I got my guy Caden Shiley, who's stepping into a big role this year. In his last year at safety for Weatherton. So all those guys played for us in 707. So, shout out to those Carolina Stars guys. If I'm missing anybody, just let me know. But, just a lot of those guys just, stepping into different roles for their team this year. So I'm excited to see them. Okay.
Awesome. In the comments right here, we got a couple of them. Jared Gatewood shouting out Kai Finazzi. Yes, he is. He's a dog for sure. A couple of people shouting out Kelson Tate right here. Sincere Pagan, human joystick. Yeah, he is. I've said that for the last couple of years now. And Nick Rankin, shouting out Tate as well. Let's see here. Jared Gatewood also shouting out Kurt Williams from Forest Hills will be a playmaker. Okay, we'll check out Kurt. I'll get him on the list. This was a transfer, and this is one of the cases where, once again, I can't put everybody on the list.
Chavez Lopez.
You know who that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. What's up, my God? It's just funny always seeing this name pop up. Because I'm like, because you remember for the longest we didn't know who.
Yeah. That reveal of who that was pretty hilarious. But
pretty funny, man.
Thank you for pointing out Miles Funderburk. If you didn't know, Miles Funderburk transferred from Providence today to Weddington, and he's playing defensive line, and he is a talented young man. He'll definitely be one to look out for sure. And Laramie Watson shouting out several of the Weddington players. They've got a lot. So, all those guys are super talented, will be very essential to their success this year. So, all right, let's switch gears. Some of you guys are here for Iredell County. I just saw the chat administrator. Where is he? Yep, he's checking in. It's okay. You ain't missed nothing yet. It's your time to shine now, because Iredell County time is here. And let's take a look. Now, I got some news that it was J-Man's birthday. So happy birthday, J-Man. That's Jadarius McCombs, the running back picture right there. I'll give you a little birthday present. But he's not just up there because it's his birthday. I think he's going to have a heck of a season for the Mooresville Blue Devils. Last year in a part-time role, he almost rushed for nearly 1,000 yards. So I think this year, expected to be the starter. He should have 1,000-yard season and play a big role, in this success of Mooresville this year. Now, I will tell y'all, 2 and 3 was very hard. It was hard to try to discern between Statesville and Lake Norman. I think both of those guys are talented. They're well coached. They got, really good players in key positions. I give Statesville the nod right now. That was I almost put a tie. I don't like putting ties. But those two are very close right there at 2 and 3. 4 for West Iredell. I think Coach Fitzgerald is doing a good job having more time, having a full off season once again to kind of get those guys stronger and those young talented guys that he's had in that program are growing up. I saw several of them at the Gardner Webb Big Mega Camp down there in June, I believe. And I got a chance to talk to a couple of them, and they look good, man. They look good. They got a couple guys going both ways, but the big quarterback who we'll talk about here in a second is really developing. And that's why they're at 4 on this list. South Iredell at 5. I talked to them today. They were at the 704 Media Day. It was cool to talk to Coach Linville and 3 of his guys that they brought. They're going to be well coached. Coach Linville's been around a long time. He did a really good job last year getting those guys in the playoffs. And I think they got a chance to do that once again this season. Pine Lake at 6. I know Coach Trotter always says to rank them last. But he's too good of a coach. I would never rank him last, especially after he lied to me 2 years ago. But, they're going to have a couple guys that can do some things. I really like the linebacker, Thomas Kiefer. He's a tackling machine for those guys and is a talented player. North Iredell at 7. Their quarterback and running back, who we'll talk about here in a second, they make the thing go for them. And they got into the playoffs last year, breaking a long streak for those guys. But I think it's more of a numbers deal for those guys. Not that they're, not well coached or talented. I just don't know if they can compete for 4 quarters. And then Langtree, I believe Langtree's going into varsity play this year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think last year they were just JV, so now they're going to move up to varsity, and we'll see where they stand. So what do you guys think about Iredell County here?
I think you'll make chat administrator happy and J-Man. But shout out to Coach Cowan, though, over at Statesman. He's always put together a good program. I know he's always going to have his guys disciplined, fired up, and ready to go, man. So I'm sure they'll use this as bulletin board material, man. And we'll be able to see Lake Norman this season. They are always very well coached, very athletic, always big in the trenches, and always very disciplined and have a good game plan as well. So I think those 3 have kind of been at the top for a little while. I know that Mooresville versus Lake Norman always a big showdown at the end of the year. So I'm sure Statesville is looking to try to throw their name in the hat and try to be able to beat at least both of them if they can. So at least one. So
okay. Coach Tatum, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I like the list. Live being texted right now by Trotter said that still too high, but it's good. But yeah, man, I agree. I know that some programs have lost some contributors, but a lot of these guys, outside of the top 3 in the same conference, and then but yeah, they don't all play each other, so it's kind of like how's it going to shape out anyway? So
okay, good stuff. All right, so in the comments here, chat administrator says West Iredell is going to surprise people, and yeah, we'll talk about that quarterback here in a second. He is a great athlete with excellent size. I mean, this guy is I mean, you start looking at him, you start thinking Cam Newton. That's how he looks physically, man. It's impressive. It's impressive. I got you, big eye. I got you. A little backdoor chat there, real quick. Let's see here. So, chat administrator also says he's got Lake Norman above Statesville, but it's tight. Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you do, I wouldn't argue. It's really that close between those two programs, in my opinion. Coach Charter weighing in, he says, good looking list, 6 and 7 could switch. 8 going to surprise some teams in their first year of varsity and could finish higher. Okay. Well, I'll tell you, speaking of first year programs, that just popped in my head. Ambassador Christian is in the same boat with them, and they're going to varsity this year after playing, kind of, more of a JV schedule last year. And they've got some talent over there that we've heard about. Now, I haven't heard what Langtree has, but it wouldn't surprise me, because I'm sure they have everybody or just about everybody back from a JV year, which is a big advantage. So yeah, I'd love to know what they've got.
Yeah, one thing I'll say is we had a 7-on-7 at RJ Reynolds up here, and Langtree actually came up, and we played them. And I'm not sure the kid's name, but they have this this running back and slot receiver that's gonna be really good. I see if I can find his name, but he was torching like everybody that was there. So real good kid. I think he's like a sophomore. Like he's like just the coach said he's gonna be really good for him. So if I can find his name, I'll shout him out. Yeah,
awesome, man. That's good to hear. Because I mean, I love learning about teams like that who don't have a lot of pub for whatever reason, and we want to shine a light if they got guys that deserve it. So yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Some of you guys are naming players that we'll talk about here shortly. So just bear with us. Real DJ Magic is saying that there's a lot of Lake Norman players that live in the neighborhood and they look very good. Okay. Well, I'll tell you, both Lake Norman and Statesville have some good looking players. I'll tell you, when I started going through Statesville's roster and started looking up these kids are huge. Like they have kids that are 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" on the offensive and defensive lines, and they can move. You start looking at highlights, you're like, good gracious. And then I get mad because I'm like, how don't I know about these kids? I want to get these kids to the showcase and get them in front of some college coaches and all that stuff, man. But both of those two teams have some guys. They have some guys. That's absolutely for sure. All right. Let's take a look at some of these players here. So defensively, you see whose picture right there is Lake Norman DB Mason Hefner, one of the defensive leaders for the Wildcats. He came to the CFI, Carolina's Mega Showcase, and did well. He's starting to pick up some recruiting attention, which is well-deserved because he's a heck of a player. Tanner Finity from Mooresville, a linebacker who had over 100 tackles last year. And then KJ Gillespie and Jace McCallum on the defensive line for Mooresville. Now, if you didn't know, Jace McCallum is transferred from Hickory Ridge to Mooresville and pairing with KJ Gillespie. I saw they posted a graphic today on Twitter. Those guys are already, getting ready to pair up and do some damage. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to handle that. So that's a big pickup for the Blue Devils right there. I like Tyreek Carter at Statesville, a physical, athletic linebacker. Memphis Barr from Lake Norman's got great size as a linebacker and can tackle very well. Talked about Kiefer earlier than talking about Pine Lake. Mario Spence, someone mentioned him earlier. I did an interview with him. Now, yeah, you got him as a linebacker, Jeff, and I would put him in athlete category because he actually competed at Gardner-Webb as a defensive player, so he can do a lot. He can do a lot. A lot of people don't know the name, but he's very, very talented. T.N. Stevenson, excuse me, from West Iredell, another kind of hybrid linebacker safety kind of player, very fast, physical. And Jack Neelan from Mooresville's got great size coming over from Cannon School. Picked up several offers. I think he's committed to play college football as well now. So the Mooresville defensive front has been fortified. That's for sure. I think their front seven is going to be really, really strong, with no doubt right there. In the comments, let's see here. Chat Administrator says Mason from Lake Norman is really good. He's extremely good with his fundamentals. And then also Chat Administrator says KJ and Jace combined for 26 sacks. Good gracious, last season. Wow. Yeah, and then adding in, like we just talked about, the Mooresville D-line is really, really good. Adding in Neelan along with McCallum and Gillespie. That's tough, man. That's a long night. Trayvon Gaither, thank you. And this is what I'm talking about. Braylon Daniels, he's a 6'5", 250-pound plus defensive lineman. And I don't even know who Tim Flowers is. Well, how big is Tim Flowers? This is what I'm talking about, man. They just got guys that, are just big and strong. And, you start looking at the roster, you're like, my goodness. Yeah, so Tim, send me. I know Braylon because I was trying to get him to the showcase back in May. But Trayvon, if you can send me something on Tim Flowers, if you got a Twitter profile, please send it because I'd love to get to know him and figure out, who he is, man. So, yeah, that's good stuff right there. NC Sports Page checking in. It says Jalen Glover from Lake Norman. Yep, he's a talented defensive back for the Wildcats who can definitely make some things happen. So that's a good shout out right there. Let's see who else we got here. All right, let's go to the offensive side of football. Take a look right here. So Mooresville, they got a lot. They got a lot here. So obviously Brody Norman committed to Temple as the quarterback, dual threat kid. He's the leader of the ship there on the offensive side of the ball. Dominic Moore, a talented receiver with good size on the outside. Now, I put Jordan Cleves on offense, but he can play either offense or defense for the Blue Devils. He was at Cox Mill last year, and it's kind of changed over there. Be interesting to see how they use him, but he's a dynamic player with the ball in his hands, but he can also play, some corner or safety defensively. Of course, Caden Kraft, the tall, talented young quarterback from Lake Norman who's blew up last year. He's going to be even better this upcoming season. Dual threat kid, really good size. He's got several D1 offers now. Joshua Terry from Statesville, I interviewed him at the Gardner Webb camp. Heck of a lineman, about 6 foot, 300 pounds. He can really move. I love seeing him pull on film and just obliterate people in short spaces. We're talking about the West Iredell quarterback, Jabraylon Patterson. He's like 6'5" now, 200 pounds. It's a really, really fun deal to watch him throw the football. I'm excited to see what he does this season with another year of training under his belt. Jaden Nordvie and Lake Norman can kind of, play running back or slot receiver. He's athletic with the ball in his hands. Mason Holt's a big right tackle from Mooresville, who I really like. I got to scout him in depth this offseason, and he's a road grader. Gavin Barber, Gavin Barber, one of the best tight ends in the state, committed to play college football at Appalachian State. He can block. He can get down the seam and win against linebackers in the passing game. He's got really soft hands as well. Brooks Culp came to our media day today over at Harding. He is huge, man. 6'3", 300-plus pounds. He told me he's moving from center to tackle this season. And it's going to be fun to see how he handles that transition. Brody Hunt, who's pictured to the right there from South Iredell, runs excellent routes, great hands, and he's faster than he first appears. Really talented young man. Noah Jacobson, I can't even talk, man. It's been a long day. Noah Jacobson from Lake Norman. That's why the dog's barking at me, man, because I'm messing up my words. He's a talented receiver. Expect him to get a lot of balls from Caden Kraft this year. And then the two guys at North Iredell that make it go, Caleb Sales, dual threat quarterback, and Harold Jackson at running back. It seems like they've been there forever. Those two guys helped lead North Iredell to the playoffs last year after a long hiatus. And then Alan Jones. Well, thank you for the update. See, this is why this show is good, because we don't get transfer updates. So Alan Jones is at Lake Norman now. Well, thank you for that, Trayvon, but I like his game. All right, so there's a little bit of an update right there. So, really good.
Yeah, I got a couple of guys from Trotter, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, absolutely.
Yeah, he just wanted me to shout out some guys. Yeah, obviously he has Kiefer on there, the linebacker, really good player. Paul Mahoney, who's an O-line, D-lineman, he's a sophomore, 6'2", 260, so he's going to be a stud. And he's got a running back, linebacker, Logan Pettit, who's going to be a stud as well. So he wanted to stress that they're going to be very young, extremely young. He said that several times, but they're going to be really good in a couple of years. So a lot of guys are a lot more sophomores, underclassmen guys, but they're going to be pretty darn good in a couple of years.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate that. If you can send me their information, I'll take care of you on that and, get them out there. In the comments, we got Jeff Banner. He's saying Paul Coffin, wide receiver and DB from Statesville, top newcomer. All right, I'll add him to the list. We'll check him out. If he's got a Twitter profile, send it to me, and we'll get him out there. Let's see here. Trayvon Gaither saying Cutter Harrington at quarterback and Davion Summers will be some names to look out for. Okay. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Zoom is checking in, which I knew he was coming. North Iredell, two other guys, Davion Thompson and Javian Rucker, both wide receivers, and Julian Hanau. Okay. All right. Thank you for that North Iredell information, man. Appreciate that. Chat administrator also weighing in, saying Brody Hunt's extremely underrated, one of the best route runners in the area. Yeah, I'd agree. He's starting to pick up some recruiting attention, and I'm glad to see it because he works extremely hard, and he's always been a little bit under the radar because of where he is. But, he's a heck of a player, man. Heck of a player. All right. So that's Iredell County, and, I think that might be the end of the show. Next week, tune in for the Charlotte show. Once again, it is 8 p.m. next Wednesday night, August 13th. Make sure you have your popcorn ready. It's the biggest show of the year because we're talking about Charlotte, private schools, public schools, and everything in between. So, Coach Tatum, I wish you good luck in your scrimmage this weekend, and I hope everybody stays healthy. That's the big thing.
Yeah, it's the number one thing. Everybody stay healthy. Everybody, have a good time. Go out, support these local scrimmages. For those, that are collecting money, that are, good gates for host schools. Make sure you support. Football's back, ready to get after it.
All right. That being said, thank you for watching Football Focus Weekly, the best high school football show in the Carolinas and beyond. Have a good week. We'll see you next week on the Big Charlotte Show. Good night, everybody.